All right, this is the last review lesson of review number 5. I thought I'd do something just a little bit special for this one. Only love is real. Only love is real. Only love is real. Only nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. And herein lies the peace. Herein lies the peace of God. Herein lies the peace. Herein lies the peace of God. God is but love, and therefore so am I. God is but love, and therefore so am I. By grace I live, by grace I am released, by grace I live, by grace I am released. God is but love, and therefore so am I. God is but love, and therefore so am I. There is no cruelty in God, and none in me. There is no cruelty in God, and none in me. There is no cruelty in God, and none in me. God is but love, and therefore so am I. God is but love, therefore so am I. Only love, only love, only love, only love, only Right. So, this is the last lesson of this review number 5. I basically just sang it, but I added a few things. Only love is real. I mean, if you had to sum up the course in just one sentence, that would be it. Only love is real, right? That's the only reality. Nothing else has any reality. It's basically what the course is saying, right? Nothing else is true. Anything that is of fear, anything that is of separation, anything that is of guilt and sin and anything other than the creation of love is illusory, right? And it's a big one. It's a very, very tall order. It's not easy to accept. It's easy to say, it's easy to sing, it's easy to talk about, and blah 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 about. But when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, what happens to love? Love flies out the window, usually, right? So that's really what this workbook is all about: is how to stay in it, how to stay high all the time, right? To stay up in that place of love, the higher ground, as Stevie Wonder said, the highest ground, the higher ground, which is being in, remaining steadfast in loving presence. And that's really what all spirituality is, and the Course is no different. The Course is just a unique presentation of that. But really all true spiritual paths are getting at the same thing. And so the Course says, it just doesn't just say only love is real, because again, that's nice. That's a great line, but it's important to clarify what it is, right? So that we understand, and ultimately the Course is getting to, I think, an intellectual understanding as well, not just a feeling, but also an understanding, like a real understanding. So God is but love. God is only love, right? Only love is real. So you don't even have to say God, right? You could say love if you like the word love instead of God. God is only love. So that means love is God, right? And therefore I am, so am I, right? Therefore, because I am the creation of God, and God can only create like God's self, or love can only create like love's self, then I can only be that, right? That's my reality. Anything that I choose to put my focus on that is really not that, will ultimately, fall by the wayside. So I might as well just get with it now, as opposed to wait, and to hold on to my illusion. So by grace I live, by grace I am released. By what is grace? Jesus talked about grace. Grace is basically, it could be a number of things. I mean, this Course is grace, right? This teaching is a gift of grace. But you could also say the grace is that moment where you are transported beyond this world, and you have a taste or a glimpse of what it is, your true reality, right? You go beyond the ego. You go beyond the world and the ego for a moment. It could just be a timeless moment, and then you come back. And that's what Jesus was calling grace. You have, and that change, that's a complete game changer when that happens, when you have, and it doesn't have to be like that. It could be just a moment where you look in someone's eyes and you remember that, love is all there is, or you remember that there's nothing, it's just that moment when everything is good, everything is happening just as it needs to, for the best, for everyone, even though it might not look that way, but it really is, and everyone is really getting what they are choosing. And everyone will ultimately find their way back to that oneness as well, just like you are. So by grace I am released. So when I have that understanding, when I have that moment of understanding, then that frees me. That that opens my eyes and makes me understand what this is saying a little bit better, right? Now, I might not be all the way there, right? I might have a glimpse, but I still might not be all the way there. I still might go back into my ego, and that's okay, right? That's how it works. You know, most of the time we're living in the mundane reality of this world, and so we're almost by necessity going to go back into the ego. Until we realize that we don't need to, right? Until we realize, like Jesus says, that we don't need to live according to the dictates of our ego. And that's something that we have to really kind of, it's trial and error until we discover that that's true, right? that is the truth. But we might not completely trust that. We might have doubts about that until we get to the point where we realize I don't have to live according to my ego. I don't have to go into the fear. I don't have to live in fear in any respect, and I don't have to make choices out of fear, and I don't have to feel fear, and I don't have to feel everything that goes along with fear. There is no cruelty in God and none in me. This also I was thinking as I was singing that it could be there is no cruelty in God and therefore none in me, right? Like it says, God is but love and therefore so am I. This also could be there is no cruelty in God and therefore none in me. Why did Jesus leave out the therefore? I don't know. I'm sure he had a reason why he left it out. But maybe you don't need a lot of therefores. He didn't want to use therefore too many times. So, because it already has the word there in it, right? There is no cruelty in God and none in me. But that's basically what he's saying is because there's no cruelty in God, there's none in me, right? God is only love. God is not cruel in any respect. And if God is only love and I am only love, then I don't have any cruelty either. If I am as God created me, which is one of the lessons, it's been used 3 times now in the lessons. 3 of the lessons had God, I am as God created me. If I am as God created me and God is only love and there's no cruelty in God, then I'm only love and there's no cruelty in me as well. And if I do get into that cruelty in any respect, I've gotten out of touch with my true reality, with my true nature. God is but love, and therefore so am I. So I think that's good, for this. And we're going to go on. There's an introduction to the next lessons. I thank you so much for tuning in. Especially those of you who have been listening and tuning in regularly and really staying with it. I really appreciate it, and if this is only for you, it's that is great. And ultimately, I'm doing this also for myself, which is the one self of all. And if I'm the only one, then that's good too, right? You only need one, right? But it's definitely, so good to share and to receive the reflection from others. And I think that's what the Course is getting at as well, is that you receive the gift even more when you share it and it's received and reflected back to you. So let's just end with this again.